Okay, today we're going to learn about solving inequalities using multiplication and division. When solving these inequalities with multiplication and division, everything is going to be the same as when you were solving equations, except you must flip the inequality sign when you multiply or divide by a negative number. Okay, I told you that whenever we were solving inequalities, everything was the same except when we got to the multiplication and division part. And this is what I was talking about. If you divide or multiply by a negative number, you got to flip the sign. And let me show you what that means. In this example, of course, to find x, you've got to divide by -6 to get rid of it on both sides. You are dividing by a negative number. When you do that with inequalities, you have to flip this sign. So it was greater than, now it becomes a less than sign. That is, if you divide or multiply by a negative number, you flip that sign. Alright, so let's do a few examples. Example number 1. X divided by 5 is less than or equal to -3. Now remember, everything's the same as we did with equations except if you multiply or divide by a negative number. So looking at x, what we got to get rid of is that 5. To get rid of a dividing by 5, you multiply by 5. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Now here, keep in mind, we're multiplying by a +5, so we're not going to have to flip any signs. Okay? Opposites get rid of each other. That leaves us with x is less than or equal to, bring down the sign because we didn't multiply or divide by a negative number. And -3 times 5 is a -15. And that is our answer. Now let's graph that. Post our -15. -16 comes before, -14 comes after. Okay? Now we know that it can be equal to the -15, and then it's going to be everything that is less than that. X is less than or equal to -15. So we shade to the left. Example number 2. To get rid of the 12, we have to divide by 12. The opposite of multiplying by 12 is dividing by 12. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Opposites cancel out, leaving us with k. Now here we did not multiply or divide by a negative number, so we're going to bring down our sign. And a -24 divided by 12 is a -2. And that is our answer. Okay, whenever we plot our point, -2, -3 comes before, -1 comes after. K is not equal to -2, so there is an open circle. And K is going to be everything greater. It's got the big mouth open to it, so it's going to be shaded to the right. Example number 3. -3z is greater than a -4.5. Okay, to get rid of that -3 over here, we've got to divide by -3. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Opposites cancel out, leaving us with z. Now, we did divide by a negative number. So when you multiply or divide by a negative number, we're going to flip that inequality sign. So it was greater than, now it becomes less than. And then -4.5 divided by -3 is 1.5. And that is our answer. Let's graph that. 1.5, 0.5 comes before if we count by ones, and 2.5 comes after. Z is not equal to 1.5, so there's an open circle. And to get this right, we did have to flip our sign because we divided by a negative number. So Z is less than, that means it's going to be everything to the left. Example number 4. We have a -3/2 n is less than or equal to 6. Now if you remember when we did equations, to get rid of a fraction you have to multiply by the reciprocal. So that will be a -2/3. You flip it. Keep that sign though, you're just flipping the numbers. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Opposites will cancel out, leaving us with n. And we're going to switch our sign, because if we multiply or divide by a negative number, in which case we did here, we flip the sign. And then 6, if we look at our fractions multiply across, 6 times a negative 2 is a negative 12. And then 1 times 3 would be 3. And we can simplify this more, and that'll be n is greater than or equal to a negative 4. And that is our answer. Let's plot our points. It can be equal to, so we shade it in. And n is greater than, so it's going to be shaded to the right. Okay, try these on your own, see what you can do.